Hey Guildies, Fletch here. Today we're going to be talking about principle number 7, which I like to call the demo principle or the metrics principle. So let's get started. All right, this is a pretty simple one. Working software is the primary measure of progress. This is a spirit, part of the spirit that's sort of displayed throughout a lot of them, but you sort of need to read into the other ones to try to find it, and this one sort of states it pretty clearly. Working software. So what this is talking about in a lot of ways is essentially feedback, because the only way you can really measure working software is by feedback. To the developers, working software, if you're on the development team, you're working with your team, you can see other teams working, you can see that they are continuously delivering or continuously deploying and releasing, and code is going out, working code. You can see that their tests are growing, and so their contract testing, their integration testing, their regression testing, those things are growing, and as they're pushing out more and more code, it's fulfilling those tests. So to the developer, working software is the primary measure of progress. You know you're progressing because software is getting out there. And what software is getting out there, it's not just stuff you're making up in your head. It's the stuff that's right there front and center in your work items. And as we've talked about multiple times before this, and I think we're going to talk about even more, you don't want project planning or project management in general, because that usually means you're planning out, you know, months and years in advance when you don't know what's really going to be coming because you need to be able to course correct. And so what we do as developers is we're pushing out working software, and that working software could be valuable software. It could be stuff that the typical customers are seeing and they're giving feedback. Oh yeah, we like these changes and things are working good, or this thing has a bug, or it could be quality enhancements. So it could be quality requirements being filled. So it could be that the frameworks are being updated and we're pushing out and the tests are still passing, or we've added more tests and we're pushing out and the tests are still passing, or there we had to change namespaces on a bunch of things because we were having a collision with some other namespace, or a department or a company got renamed. And like I said before, you shouldn't have to do that, but you had to do these changes and you pushed out and the tests are still passing. This is working software. It's not the valuable stuff that the customers have to see. It includes the valuable stuff that the customers see, but it also includes quality enhancements. So we're pushing out working software constantly. It's stuff that's on the board. It's stuff that we're all collaborating and communicating about in the here and now. And that's working software. To the business, working software is the primary measure of progress. Should mean to the business that you know stuff's getting done because you trust your team, but you're also getting feedback from your users on what they're saying, what they like, what they dislike. And the users, a lot of times, this is a lot of ways that software works. For example, Minecraft is a good example I like to go to. They're getting the changes, they're talking about the changes, they see the change logs, and they're testing things out, and they're saying, oh, well, we don't like this, or we do like this. And the company listens to that. You'll see a lot of people who are reviewing changes in these frequent releases. They're not full feature releases. They're just like daily or weekly push outs that they do, drops that they do. And they've got change logs, and you've got lots of people who are reviewing these and saying, oh, this is a cool new change, a new thing they've added, or they're changing. Yeah, recently the way that you walk straight goes a certain speed, strafing goes a certain speed, and now strafe walking. Anyway, people give feedback on these things and they listen, they make changes. They say, okay, well, our users aren't liking this, or they were giving feedback on this. And so feedback that's coming in is the measure of progress. That's the metric by which the business should be judging their development. If they're getting feedback, especially more good feedback than bad feedback, then that's amazing. That's really good. We're getting a lot of feedback and it's good feedback. If they should also be getting some bug report feedback, because no development team is perfect, and every once in a while there's going to be bugs. So you should be getting some of those. It should be some ratio like that, and that's the measure of progress. A good way to do this is with demos. So if you have a certain client who's using your software before it goes to other clients, or you have a test group of beta testers or people who opt in to test certain features, then it goes out to them and you do demos for them. Maybe the demos are completely public, but maybe the people who opt in can not only see the demo, they can then go use the software like that. So these are the things that measure the progress of your development team moving forward. Things that are not a good primary measure of progress is counting the number of tests that exist, the number of lines of code that's written, how often you're committing, because you should be committing at least daily. Some little changes. Maybe at worst, you might miss a day and you commit the next day. But you really want to be committing hourly if possible. So you can't really measure that because that's going to be different from every developer. Some people will commit 8 times a day. Some people will commit once a day, but sometimes miss a day. There's going to be pair programming. There's so many things that you can't measure because it's not comparable. But there's a lot of things that you can measure, and those are not good metrics to measure by. So working software is the primary measure of progress, and it's as simple as that. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think is right, what you think is wrong, how you would change this. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks.